As soon as I posted my self-worth video, my cousin, who is a very close friend and also a mother, responded saying that she watched it and she loved it and it really hit home for her. But it also made her realize how much, now that she's tuning in more with her children, she feels like she's passed on a lot of self-hatred and insecurity. So she asked me for my advice as to how to help while she's learning and discovering herself how to be okay with who she is and be more herself. She's wondering how to correct some of what she sees that her insecurities have done to her children. So I wanted to go ahead and just make a video because parenting is something that I am very passionate about. I don't have my own children yet, but I have been raising other people's children for 16 years now as a professional nanny and babysitter. So it's something that I have studied very adamantly. I've researched, I've discussed with people, I've taken parenting very seriously as far as how I would want to parent and how I feel intuitively things work. So my suggestion would be, if you find yourself in a situation where you're learning to love yourself and have more grace with where you are, but you are noticing, like she did, that her children, she says that her son seems very insecure and that her daughter, who is younger, around 4, doesn't really voice her own opinions, or even in choosing like her favorite color, she's very indecisive, and she's picking up that it's probably the kind of thing where she feels like there's supposed to be a right answer. So my suggestion is that these kind of things aren't taught through affirmations, through pushing. They're not taught by telling somebody how they're supposed to feel or what they're supposed to do. They have to be okay and right in where they are. What they are experiencing and what you're seeing is a natural consequence of what they've learned. So from here on out, observing where they are as their starting point and where they're going as their journey, the best way to get them on that journey is to lead by example. So as you begin to change and as you begin to feel more confidence in yourself, point out your journey. So talk about it. If it comes time to color together and one child says that he doesn't know how to color or he's not going to do a very good job, resonate with that. I feel that way too. I feel that way a lot, and I pretend like I know what I'm doing, but I don't really know what I'm doing either. I just guess. If you don't feel comfortable drawing, you don't have to draw. If you don't want to color, you don't have to color. But I know how you feel. I felt that way too, and it's perfectly normal. What I do in that situation where I don't feel like I do a very good job coloring is I just practice, because I know that the more that I practice coloring, the more I'll see things that I like about my coloring, and I can focus on doing those more. So when the other child says that she doesn't know which color or she seems indecisive, again, that's okay. It's okay to be where she's at, and it's okay to not know what the right answer is, and to be present with her and resonate with that, to say something along the lines of, I have trouble picking which color too, because you never know what it's going to look like or whether it's going to feel like the right color once it's down on the paper. So it's hard to make some of those decisions, but I've found that if I just pick a color and I do it, then I can decide whether or not I like it, and I just learn and I get better at coloring. So that's how I deal with feeling that way about choosing a color. And what you're teaching them is they're just stuck in something that they can't get out of, and you're teaching them how you get out of that place. So you may have from here taught them that that's not a problem, that you as mom just always color great and you always know what to do because you've had an insecurity that you're covering up. So take off of those layers and show that you have those insecurities too, and show that you have to guide yourself, and you can guide them and show them how you guide yourself, and that's how they'll learn. But the worst thing that you can do is have an insecure child who is telling you that they don't feel pretty, or they don't think they're very smart, and shout at them that they are. because it does not help. It does not help to be, skinny fat, to be a thin blonde girl and, go through my life having a hard time feeling like I have no muscle, feeling like I'm weak and falling apart, feeling all of those things. But if I were to express anything, I just get shouted at, oh, you should just be so grateful. You are so attractive. You aren't fat. Okay, well then I'm not going to talk to you. That's all you get. You just get shut out because you can't resonate with what's going on with me, and therefore you're not somebody who can help me at all whatsoever. So whatever it is that they're expressing, sit with them in the situation where they're at. And this is with self-esteem or friends from school or homework help, whatever it is. The best way to do it is to sit with them where they're at and be okay with them and show them that it's okay to not know and it's okay to feel insecure. Once you normalize and you make sure that they know that it's okay, you can offer them options and you can help them come up with ideas and rewire those things. So a little boy who's insecure, may feel very defeated about playing with a friend and losing, but you can help him talk through that experience and talk through other experiences that he's had that he took really hard, and talk through experiences that he's had where he actually felt really victorious. Talk about the differences between those. Talk about the times that he's had something that was really difficult and frustrating for him, and he's actually followed through and figured it out and been really proud of himself. The other way that I help children build self-esteem and self-worth is by being slightly unavailable. So as a caregiver, as a parent, you are there to help them, you want to do it efficiently, you want to make sure they feel supported and all of those things. Take a 10-minute, take a gap and insert that in before you help. So what I do is, if I have something that I'm trying to do and a child needs help with something and they come to me, I try to create a situation where it's very obvious that I want to help and I will help and I can talk to them, etc. But my hands are busy or my attention is busy with something else, and I will get to them in X amount of time. So it depends on obviously the urgency of the situation. If they never can pull up their pants from the bathroom and they come in and they just expect you to do it, you might want to give them 10 minutes to dance around the kitchen before they get frustrated with you and they just go ahead and pull up their own pants. They figure it out, and while you have your hands in the food that you can't help them yet, you just watch and coach and go, wow, you did it. I was going to help you because I thought you needed help, but oh my gosh, you just figured it out yourself. That feels awesome, and I promise you that next time that child has to pull up their own pants, they're going to remember how good it felt to actually have succeeded. The only difference is you didn't immediately rush in, but you were there and you were supportive and you told them how much you wanted to help. The only difference is that you're helping in a very different way. You're actually leaving space for them to try to figure it out themselves. And if you push them, if you are unavailable, if you just tell them, no, I'm not going to help, you can do this yourself, that doesn't feel okay. That feels like somebody who loves me, who says they love me, who loves me sometimes, is pulling away and not willing to help me. And that's an awful feeling, and children will fight you for it. They will fight you and they will make you show up and they will make you stand up and help them because they want to feel like you're there. And it's important to be there. It's incredibly important for the rest of their lives to know that you're there. So always be there, but if you are busy, the situation where I couldn't help my husband because my hands were covered in chicken and I had to get the chicken into the oven, etc., and it just gave him a 10-minute window to just fix it all himself. It's not something that I necessarily fabricated just to push him, to make him do something. It's a natural consequence of the situation. If I'd thrown down the chicken, told my mom to take over, and I rushed out the door to save him, he never would have had that opportunity. It's possible I could have done that, but then, at the time I wanted to make sure that it got done the way that we wanted to get it done, and I knew that he was okay and that he could wait. So those situations can be fabricated if you have a young child and you have established patterns that you need to get rid of. Like, for example, they always come to you and you always have to pull up their pants. That kind of thing. It's hard to figure out how to pull up your pants. And if somebody's always there to help you and they fight with you and you want to make sure they're always going to be there if you need help, so you always make sure to ask them, then, you're never going to learn to pull up your own pants. But if they regress, if you have a day where your 5-year-old says, I can't put on my own shoes, and they put out their feet and they want you to put on their own shoes, and you know that they can put on their own shoes, then it's not about shoes. That is about making sure that you're there. So always be there, always show up, always be verbalizing, always be talking and communicating, always be telling them that they're worth it and that they're there and that you love them and where they're at is okay. And if they really need you, that you're helping them, but provide a gap for them to idly attempt things that they didn't think that they could do, because that's where their self-worth will naturally grow. There might be another issue where you see them mimic things that you have said about yourself when you've been frustrated, etc. If you've, thrown yourself on the bed and said, I am too fat and ugly, I cannot go out tonight, I quit, and you just give up on the night, etc. You have bad habits, you have bad things, you've reached negative points, and your children have seen that and they know that that's how people feel, etc. And so they kind of go through those patterns. Understand that that's a baseline now, that's a baseline, that's where you all are at, etc. And when you see situations where you're making changes and you're making different decisions, don't just change behind the scenes and then show up as a completely different person. Change in front of them. Show them, this is the way that I used to do it, and this wasn't making me happy, so I decided to do it differently. And now I'm going to slow down and I'm going to take my time when I get ready, and I'm going to think about the things that I like about going out. And I'm going to understand that I have anxiety before I go out sometimes. And I'm going to practice pushing through that anxiety and going out and having a good time, and realizing that those feelings that I felt when I was getting ready were just the feelings that I sometimes feel when I get ready. So I know that I've gotten really frustrated and had a lot of anxiety, and I've thrown big fits, but I'm going to try to do that differently. Can you help me? Can you help me pick out an outfit? Can you help me get dressed? I feel anxiety in a situation, and I know that I can reach out to the people around me to support me. I would like you, my 5-year-old child, to help me. If you could be here with me and you can be present with me and you can help me keep smiling and you can help me keep remembering, and they become part of a team for you. It's not just about teaching them, being there for them. If you don't reach out to them, if you don't allow them to hold you when you're sad, then why would they allow you to hold them when they're sad? If you don't sit and listen and be comfortable when they're upset, then they won't come talk to you when they get older. You have to be comfortable being real in front of them and letting them help, and you have to be comfortable helping them, because that's the only way that you'll establish a relationship where they can continue as they get older to come to you and have help from you. So as you process, think about what you would want them to do. If they were processing something and trying to figure it out, you would want them to talk to you about their process. You would want to hear about it and know what's going on so that you can help and continue to guide them. And I promise you, you will be amazed, because as you start to ask for their help and as you start to teach them by describing your dialogue, they will begin to do those things, and they will begin to comfort you, and they will begin to show up as the human beings that you hope that they'll be, and be a positive part of a relationship with you, not just a needing, sucking, crumpling down and needing repair kind of human being, but the kind of human being that sees that struggle is something that people do together, and they help and support each other, because that's something that you invited them into. You invited them into your world, and you spoke to them. You don't overwhelm them. Don't go to them with every conversation that you have with your partner that makes you upset and talk to them about how horrible your partner is. It's not that kind of reality. Keep those big emotions that are all about adult stuff. You can keep that stuff to yourself and go to your adult friends to handle those. But the real true core emotions that they're feeling, the ones of frustration and the ones of defeat and the ones of insecurity and indecisiveness, those emotions are real, and they're ones that they're already dealing with. So talk to them about how you deal with having those and how you're okay in having those, because that's where they'll learn that not only are they okay in those places, which is the exact opposite if they learn that when they say they don't know what color they like, you say, you need to pick a color. Everybody has a favorite color. How can you not know what color you like? Okay. I don't know. Let's not talk anymore. I don't like you. That makes me feel awful. It makes me feel awful just to say it in practice to you guys. So don't tell them that the place that they're at is wrong. Tell them that the place that they're at is okay. And as you practice this with your children and you practice it with yourself, these things will begin to pick up momentum, and all of you will change and all of you will grow together, and it will be mind-blowing, and I promise you will cry a lot, and it will be really amazing. But those are the systems that you had shut down, and those are the systems that when you open them up are going to give you everything that you've been missing. So be open and be real, and don't be afraid to cry in front of your children and say, I'm just really sad right now and I don't even think there's a reason why. Could you hold me? Because I promise they've always wanted to hear that, and they've never wanted to hear just mommy's gonna go lay down and lose you. So open up and be there and let them be part of your lives, and let them see what real emotions look like and how you handle them correctly, because they have to learn that. Because if they don't learn that, they're just going to learn what they see from other people when they're handled incorrectly. So be the right example in handling things maturely, openly, in front of your children. And let those relationships flourish into what you always wanted them to be. Good luck.